Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to read to you the Chapter 8 test. So here we go. Number one, who developed the Virginia Plan, which provides the basic framework and the central ideas of the U.S. Constitution? Was that Benjamin Franklin? Was it Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, or John Adams? Number two, the system that was set up to maintain a balance of power between three branches of government is called checks and balances, equilibrium, veto and override system, or the separation of powers. Number three, the Constitution is based on how many key principles? Five, nine, seven, or three? Number four, the justices of the Supreme Court, they listen to legal arguments about a case and then they present and explain a decision called the last decree, the court's opinion, the final rule, or the supreme ruling. Number five, the process of changing the Constitution is started by a popular vote, the Supreme Court, the Congress, or the President. Number six, there are no term limits for just senators, the President, both the senators and the state representatives, or state representatives only. All right, before we begin to read question number 7, let's take a look at the major features of the American system of checks and balances. Let's start with the executive branch, who is run by the president. The president has the power to appoint federal judges and may veto legislation, call special sessions, recommend legislation, and appeal to the people. The legislative branch, which is run by the Congress, creates the lower courts and may remove some judges through impeachment, and the Senate approves appointment of judges. The legislative branch also creates agencies and programs, appropriates funds, may override a veto, and may remove the president through impeachment. The Senate approves treaties and presidential appointments. The judicial branch, run by the Supreme Court and the other federal courts, are the judges are appointed for life, are free from executive control. Courts may declare executive actions to be unconstitutional. Also, the judicial branch may declare acts of Congress unconstitutional. All right, now that we know the major features of the American system of checks and balances, based on the information in the flowchart, which power does the executive branch have in legislation? Does it have the power to declare a law unconstitutional? Does it have the power to suspend? Does it have the power to veto or the power to impeach? Number 8, according to the flowchart, which entity, the legislative branch, the judicial branch, or the executive branch, can declare acts of Congress to be unconstitutional? Is that the legislative branch, the judicial branch, the president, or the executive branch? Number 9, based on the information in the flowchart, which government officials are free from executive control? The senators, the state representatives, federal judges, or members of Congress? Number 10, which amendment to the Constitution provides protections for people accused of crimes? Is that the Fifth Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the First Amendment, or the Ninth Amendment? Number 11, the Bill of Rights limits the power of government and protects the rights of individuals. True or false? Number 12, the federal government reassigns each state's share of seats in the House of Representatives every 2 years. True or false? Number 13, the main job of the executive branch of government is to administrate the laws that are passed by Congress. True or false? Number 14, if a state law contradicts a federal law, the federal law prevails. True or false? Number 15, the United States government cannot limit citizens' right to hold protests even if public health or safety are at risk. Is that true or false? All right, here begins the short answer questions. What must an immigrant to the United States agree to before he or she can become a U.S. citizen? Write your answer here. Number 17, the first words of the preamble to the Constitution are? Write your answers here. Number 18, this excerpt, this passage is from the United States Constitution, Amendment 1. The Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Write this passage from the First Amendment in your own words. Number 19, same passage. From which part of the Constitution is this passage taken? Number 20. Do you believe that one branch of the United States government is more important than the others? Explain why or why not right here. And lastly, number 21, match the statements in column A with the words in column B. The powers that are given specifically to Congress are those concurrent powers, enumerated, veto powers, reserved powers, or implied powers. Checks the powers of Congress: concurrent powers, enumerated powers, veto power, reserved power, or implied powers. The powers that are shared by the federal and state governments are those concurrent, enumerated, veto, reserved, or implied powers. The powers claimed by Congress but not directly stated in the Constitution are those concurrent, enumerated, veto, reserved, or implied. And lastly, the powers that belong to the states alone. We call those concurrent, enumerated, veto, reserved, or implied. When you are done, click submit. Feel free to go back and to listen to any of the previous questions. Please submit when you are finished. Thank you.